Did you guys know that that YouTube Hangouts or whatever this combination is actually going away August 1st? So we got
What?
it right in
Oh
time.
wow.
And I think from now on, this is where if we do this again next year, we're really gonna have to figure out what our new system is gonna be because this is very convenient.
Do it again next year. It was really fun.
Yeah? Go ahead. Oh. Alright, I
We
have
had
the questions. Yeah. Can you hear me?
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you, so I got
Okay.
quiet.
No.
You were cutting out a little bit.
What was your favorite do?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so it is just Hope. Hope, I think we're having issues, of course, right now with your transmission. Okay,
Hello?
yeah, now it's better. Say it
Oh,
again,
okay.
sorry.
That's okay. Hi, Avril. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
So the first question that we're doing is, what was your favorite thing to do during the workshop? What was your favorite part about it? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, we hear you.
Oh,
Sorry, we're
okay.
thinking.
Okay.
I think for me, my favorite part, one of my favorite parts, was the part where we got to share like all our work with everybody, and we read each other's stuff and like left comments. That was really fun, and like we got to see how everybody else interpreted the same like message or the same ideas in different ways. That was really cool.
Yeah, I like that too. Honestly, another one of my favorite parts is writing poems. I thought that was really fun.
Did you expect it to be your favorite part?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
I really like to know what other Baha'is are doing and their works and all of that. I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah, I think that really shone through with the article section also. I really enjoyed just like reading what everyone was writing. But actually, I think one of my favorite parts also was the planning of the workshop because I think we really, in the beginning, we really had no idea what it was going to look like. And then I don't know, everything just kind of fell into place. We were able to come up with something that we felt was good, which considering we kind of had this idea at the end of May, and then within a month we like made it happen. So I think that was it's kind of cool to see that people actually cared and that you guys came and that
The success.
and yeah, it was really nice. What about you, Hope?
I think also because during the actual, during the actual 3 weeks that it was happening, we didn't do much. We just watched to an extent. Um,
You're cutting out again. She's traveling.
I really liked the planning. I thought because I want to be a teacher when I grow up. So when I grow up, like I'm not 20.
cutting out. Yeah,
Hello?
you cut out for quite a bit. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Well, I was just saying that I really enjoyed reading what you guys wrote. Inside.
Mm. Okay. Cut out a little bit, but I think you're maybe just driving through a difficult patch.
Sounds like a metaphor for life.
You're just going through a rough patch. I hope you'll be fine.
Okay, but did you hear what I said?
Bits
No?
and pieces.
That's alright.
We can hear you now, though.
Okay, I just said that I liked what you guys wrote. I really enjoyed that.
Somebody's excited to see me. I just want to bite my cat.
Your dog.
Sorry, I'm moving now.
It's cute.
Okay.
Mom, do you have another question for her? She muted herself.
The next one is, did anything about the workshop surprise you?
I think it was kind of surprising. I didn't expect that we were actually going to hear from like professionals, like in the different writing fields. Like when we heard from the journalists, I thought that was really cool because that's kind of what I want to do. And so it was so cool because it was like you get to hear exactly what it's like, and for poetry too, and also for the short stories, I thought that was cool because you got to hear advice also. So I wasn't expecting that, and that was nice.
Yeah, I love that.
one
Go ahead.
One thing for me that was surprising was the daily assignments. I expected it to just be like write an article, and then have not saying anything for a week. So I think it was pretty great that we always had something to do.
What Kiara said really surprised me too, because it was like very exciting, and I never thought that I will learn directly from a professional like all of them. So I was very happy.
Yeah, I think we wanted to have them on, but we didn't know if we would be able to because we were like, for example, Rick Johnson's stories. The reason that we decided to ask him if he could speak was because we read his stories when we were kids. And we were like, is it even possible to find this person? We were on Google, like desperately looking for him. At one point, I was like, what if he's not alive anymore? So I was looking through obituaries, like, what if he passed away? Because I didn't even know what year he'd written these stories. And then finally, I was like, oh, thank God, we can meet them. So it was really nice. And that experience that you said, like with Elahe, the journalist, I actually met her earlier this year at a seminar that they do for journalists and people like Baha'i professionals working in media. And I had no idea, there's Baha'is at the Washington Post, there's Baha'is probably like in CNN,
Yeah.
BBC. Like, of course there are. Like, there's Baha'is everywhere, but it just doesn't really occur to you and like think, oh, like maybe we're actually affecting the world in ways that we aren't thinking about because it's not directly like community building necessarily, but we're affecting in these small ways throughout different industries. So yeah, she has really good vision. So it was very exciting for me, and so I was like, oh my god, other people have to have this experience. What about you, Hope?
What surprised me was that so many people signed up, and then that out of the people that signed up, like a really good portion, a good number of them participated the whole time. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Do you want me to do the next question? Do you want me to do the next question?
You can say yes, guys,
Yeah.
or say no if you don't.
And I want to say something more. Something that I really like and surprised me was to read where everybody is from, because I didn't expect to be working, studying the same thing with people from all over the world. So that was like very cool. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was also shocked there was so much diversity. It was so cool.
Yeah, and I think everyone is like also has all these different experiences. Like a lot of people are in Baha'i activities. A lot of people are from like families from many different countries. So it was like hard to explain exactly where I'm from, which was very funny because it's such a Baha'i experience. And I was like, oh, it's my people.
All right. So, how do you feel your writing has improved?
Or maybe it hasn't improved and it's gotten worse. You can say that too.
I think my writing has improved generally, although I think all the comments and edits by the facilitators really helped a lot because they showed me where I could get better.
I think for me, when the other live stream where there was like it was talking about like the responsibility we as Baha'is have like as writers, I learned so much of that because I never thought of it like that before. Like how like we have a responsibility to portray things in a way and give hope to people and inspire. Like I never thought of it that way. So I think just the the motivation and like kind of like the message of what I write is kind of changed because now I know there's a greater like reason behind it. So it's not just writing it for the sake of writing it.
I used to think that I wasn't too good at writing. Maybe because the experience at school can be very stressful, especially because you can have like many things to do and you can always be very busy. But you really inspire me, and you really thought we loved all the topics. So uh, that really made me to want to improve my writing, and now I feel better. I feel that I can express my ideas with writing, and that I can write in English too, and not too bad as I thought. So I'm very happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like I think both Hope and I can relate to your experience because we both like grew up in Paraguay, and I mean I went to school completely in Spanish, and I didn't have like any formal English education until I came to college. So
Wow.
I'm like, so even like in college, I was like, oh wait, there's rules. Like I was just kind of trying to. Oh, I remember I heard it this way, so that's why. But I never had a logic for it. So like, even with, I don't know, if you feel like you're making mistakes and going from one language to the other, it's completely normal. And like we've all been there, and sometimes it never goes away, and then your editor is just being like, you're doing this again, and then they just fix it for you and like you move on. That's just how it's gonna be sometimes.
I feel like something that someone told me recently also is that, well, kind of like what Robert said, that if you have an idea and you can express it by talking, it's worth writing about.
Mhm.
And so you already have that. All of you guys already have that. And especially with, like, I feel like we're so privileged to have such interesting things to think about because of Baha'i teachings that just by nature we have a step up, I guess, in terms of like being able to write things that are meaningful, and yeah, the editors are there to clean up our little mistakes. But what really like makes people love, not always, but sometimes how you write is really incredible too, but the concepts behind the writing are usually what really impact a reader. And so that you have great ideas is almost more important than, I don't know. But that's a personal opinion.
Yeah.
So you're really pleased with all the thoughts you guys had.
Yeah, I think I was genuinely like shocked. I mean, like obviously we knew that people who signed up were going to be people who are interested in writing, and therefore usually when you're interested in writing, you like put some more effort into it so that what comes out is good, right? So we're like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then like the first articles came in and I was like crying. I was like, you guys, this is so pretty. How can you write this well? And like I was sitting with my roommates or like with my family, and I would just like read out a line and be like, can you believe how good this line is? So just so you know, that was definitely like, it's been really enriching for my experience as a reader and an editor and probably as a writer, because I think every time you read something, it inspires you to write better. So you guys have definitely helped my writing and my drive as well.
Thank you.
What about the next question, guys?
I don't know.
We have only one more. Actually, never mind, two more.
Yeah, too.
Sorry. Okay. What would you like to see in a future workshop?
Cartoons.
What?
Cartoons.
Cartoons?
I said it last live stream and now I'm low-key regretting it because I'm like, now we need to follow through.
Because like it's so much, drawing and writing cartoons would be so much fun, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, Asia just submitted her story. I don't know if she's gonna put it in peer reviews, but it comes with an illustration. So I'm just letting you know that it might, if she has time to work on it, I'll put it into the file because she's on pilgrimage. So just keep an eye on the peer reviews. Okay, sorry, I cut you off. Just wanted to say that before I
No
forgot.
problem.
Go ahead.
Wait, was the question what do we want to see in the next writer's endeavor? I didn't really hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
if there is one, but we're hoping there isn't.
I don't know. I thought it was really good. I can't really think of anything.
Maybe it's more complex, but I think it would be nice to learn about essays.
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 Mhm. For like school and stuff, maybe.
Well, I don't know, because I feel like essays are kind of they're a very American experience, or at least maybe Western school system. So I think for like depending on where you go to school, it might be different. I didn't write an essay until I was in college.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then my I always
Really?
thought I was great at writing, and then I got to my first writing class. My teacher was like, "You need to work on it a bit more," and I was like, "No, I thought I was good." Okay, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this could be like too hard, but maybe there could be a little bit, because like with writing also comes reading, and maybe there could be like a little bit of analyzing some Baha'i writings that are like relevant to writing in general. I know we did that a lot, but like maybe ones that are, I don't know, there's just like a collection of some of them and being able to analyze them, because like when you work on like your reading, then the writing also gets better. So
I see.
like being able, to analyze them.
Yeah, a good one. You're making me think that maybe we should add another question to the survey, because
Okay.
one of the things that we were doing when we were first planning this, we had no idea what ages we were gonna get, and even ages don't really say anything at the end of the day, because like different people are different levels of experience or understanding, and so we were a bit worried that maybe it would get too deep or too like complex with language or things like that. So we tried to find a middle ground where like you would be able to take something away from it at all times and you could dig deeper if you wanted. But I'm thinking maybe we'll add some kind of rating where like from 1 to 5, how difficult was this to you? And if it wasn't difficult, then we'll make it more difficult. Well, not difficult, but we'll get it a bit more complex. Which probably means we're gonna have to study a lot more next time.
You know,
Oh, we
there.
lost Kara.
Oh, Kira.
Oh, there she's back. Okay.
There's
Sorry,
a lot
I don't know what happened.
of there's actually a lot of books that analyze like how the Bab versus Baha'u'llah versus Abdul Baha versus Shoghi Effendi write. And so maybe for the next endeavor we could look into that too, kind of, because the way they write really kind of affects the reader in different ways. So, is that what you meant, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I didn't know there was books like that. That's cool.
there are. Yeah, for sure.
I remember one thing is like also how some of the central figures use, or at least the translations of what they say, use a very specific type of grammar that isn't what we normally use, or like what is APA like authorized. So it's, yeah, it might be interesting to also think about that. Like, does that mean that our grammar has to change to fit to that, or does that just because that's how the ratings are and they're above the rules of men?
Already a great question. Okay. Let's see. The last question before our quote is, what are your writing plans for the future?
School. I mean, I don't know about you, Nassim, but I have to write plenty of essays.
Well, yeah, I bet.
So I'm definitely gonna use my experience here in future writing.
Maybe you'll try out some more poetry in your breaks.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I hope so.
I think I just want to just continue writing like on like my own time as a hobby. But then I also want to work on writing more articles, because I want to pursue that somehow as a career.
That's awesome. I'll answer that too. So this has inspired me for a while there. I really like writing poetry. It's my favorite genre of writing, and but I kind of felt like, I don't know, I had a lot of doubts about it. Like, I wondered if I should, and I think now I will try to do it more, but also kind of try to expand what I write about, because maybe I felt a little limited what I wrote about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, this what all the things you guys wrote about kind of inspired me. Anyone else?
I decided that I really want to improve at writing, so I will keep practicing, and I don't know, maybe with articles and poetry. And I will also try to write the stories.
I want to finish that story that I've been trying to finish for the last 4 years. It's literally only 8,000 more words probably, and then I'll be done. So I don't know why I can't do this. But then once I'm done with that, I'm currently participating in one of my favorite events of the year, which is called the Narnia Fic Exchange. And as you all know, I really like Narnia fan fiction. And it's a group of writers from like all over the place. And we do this kind of like gift exchange. So you say, I would like a story about these characters doing this. Or you can put many options. And then they match you to someone else, and then you write for someone, and someone else writes for you. And it's like a secret.
That's
thing.
super cool.
And yeah, it's really fun. So I
Wow.
have until August 24th to submit mine. And I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years now. And it's so great because it's such a nice community. And these are like, some of them are professional writers because you can just tell, but they're under pseudonyms. So you almost never know who they are, except I know who one person is because she actually helped me with my essay applications. And she's like a published author.
Wow.
So you can meet all kinds of crazy people over the internet just like that. And it's a really, really nice group. So I'm going to be writing something for that, which I'm still not entirely sure what it's going to be. And sometimes there's like 1 or 2 other events around this time of year. But what I really want to do, either now at the end of this year or starting next year, is write another like novel, and like this time like really go for it and really try and find an idea that truly inspires me so I can make it the one that I want to work on. Because I haven't written a book in a really, really long time. And the books that I have written, I haven't felt that were necessarily ready or like that I love them enough to try and publish them. But I feel like it's time, and it would be really nice to have a project that truly like inspired me. But I have to find which one of my ideas works and what I can add to it that will make it really something that I love.
Well, I think that was maybe the most ambitious one of them all.
I don't think so. I mean, I always have ambitious plans, but do I follow through with them? The problem is that when you're actually writing for work and for school as well, it gets really draining to come home and then write for fun. But that's what I'm trying to kind of develop those muscles, because I think it's all about developing muscles. Like when I was up to before I was 14, I felt that it was impossible for me to ever finish a story. And then when I was 14, I did NaNoWriMo, which is one of the resources I'm going to link to, and we linked to it in one of the emails that we're going to send you guys. And I did that, and then I realized, oh, I can actually finish a story. So then and then when I was like 18, I was like, you know what? I can never write a lot. So now I'm going to try and write a lot. So I learned to write a lot for a few years. So I think it's just like you kind of pick what muscle you want to train.
I'm also trying to write like this short story I've been trying to write for a while. It's about this kid who is autistic, and I wanted to like show it from first person to show to spread awareness about how hard it is and like how senses are so overloaded being autistic and it's not like something to make fun of. But I don't know, I don't feel motivated to do it because I feel like I'm gonna mess it up because it's such like an important topic and I want to do it justice. So now I'm like scared of starting it. And like I started like the first 3 sentences and then I was like, no, I can't do this. So yeah, I also want to finish that.
I mean, you can always, I feel like you can always find an angle. So like if you really wanted to do it, if you really have that vision, there's always research. Like if you do enough research and you run it through people who have that experience, you can make sure that it's accurate. It is a very sensitive subject and a lot of writers are talking about it right now. But like, you know, you can learn a lot from what you read and from the people you speak to. But also, I mean, if it feels like too much to write it from that character's point of view, you can always write it from an outsider's point of view because maybe that is your experience. And you know what that experience is like probably, or at least might have a better idea of it. So I mean you can always find an angle. I feel like don't limit yourself because you're afraid of what people are gonna think, because that can come later when you're gonna publish it. You still are when you're actually writing it, you should feel free.
Yeah, I'll try.
I can hear someone's breathing.
Well, I suppose that's a good time for. I think it's perfect, really, this quote. I think it's perfect for what you've just said because I guess to an extent we think we're limited to what's already existed, and this quote mentions the fact that the art of the future is going to be something we really can't imagine. Does anyone want to read instead of me? It's the quote that's in the assignment for today.
That's the last paragraph in the assignment.
I can read it.
Sweet.
We cannot possibly foresee, standing as we do in the threshold of the high culture, what forms and characteristics the arts of the future, inspired by this mighty new revelation, will have. All we can be sure of is that they will be wonderful, as every faith has given rise to a culture which flowed in different forms. So too our beloved faith may be expected to do the same.
Isn't that awesome?
Any thoughts, guys?
So does it mean that from every religion has come a culture? Like, that's cool.
I mean, I mean, think about how many books today or movies are influenced from the Bible in some way. Now, like, imagine that, like, but the Quran and like all of the other books throughout history that have influenced maybe in small but powerful ways. We might have just lost track of them.
I can't imagine movies inspired by Baha'i writings. That seems weird.
Well, they exist now too, but I think we're getting better at doing them. Script writing. Something that go ahead.
There's, for example, from Islam, something that's really prevalent today is the way our governments are structured and how much that affects culture. Just like the way society functions um, really reflects a lot in how our government works too. Does that make sense? And that the Islamic faith really did almost like all of the way our government is structured came a lot from the Islamic faith. I know that democracy and stuff originated in Greece and before the Islamic faith like even existed, but the actual like structures of government are from the Quran, and most people don't know that.
Something I
Unrelated, I guess, but
it's interesting. I another thing that might be a little bit unrelated, but it kind of made me think of like this kind of made me think of that is like I was at a conference and people were talking about how technology is changing us and how so many people are afraid. Is this person? She's a very prominent buyer. Her name is Kamal Sinclair, and she has a lot of experience in what's like virtual reality kind of things. A lot of like the really impossible things that are starting to happen in the field of technology. And she was saying that that some people are starting to realize that technology, the fact that technology is taking our jobs away. You know, people say, "Oh my God, now the robots are going to do our jobs, and we're not going to have anything. And what are we even going to do? We're going to die off and be replaced by computers." But she was saying that now there's this new form of thought. It's like, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we don't need to be working 8 hours or more a day. Maybe that's actually bad for us. Maybe if humans had more time to do service in their community, to connect with each other, maybe work isn't actually the most important thing in our culture. And what would that mean? Like, what would that mean if humanity stopped being structured around work? And like, what does that mean for the arts? You know, for our identity, for our spirituality. So, I mean, even the small things like that completely change. And like, it's almost impossible to imagine a world that's like that. But it's a very, like, it's something we're going towards. So, if that's happening with technology, the arts are also going to change drastically.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But then how do people get like an income? Like that just seems like communism or like I don't know.
Well, we wouldn't cut out work entirely, right? We'd work less for more salary, I guess.
Or,
Maybe.
and like, maybe not everything needs to be paid for either. I mean, I don't know. Like, who knows? But the way that the society is set up right now with so many institutions that are just taking money, like excessive money for simple services. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't meaning to start a discussion on technology, but I feel like there's a nice parallel.
I feel like there'll be, for one, there'll be a much greater need for education, because usually the jobs that technology takes away are the types of jobs that perhaps don't require like the most mental like kind of, or like the realms of creativity or
Emotional.
analyzing and reflection. Like sometimes those are the types of jobs that robots would probably take over. Like robots still haven't been able to write poetry or to be creative or to do things like that, like
Or
touch
be
the heart.
psychiatrists.
Yeah. And I guess that it would open the doors for people to be able to do those more meaningful things. I mean, normally at least in the States, I find like everyone is trying to find a meaningful job, you know? Maybe almost everyone's job will be meaningful at that point and not mindless or aimless, you know? Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And discovering this type of writing, whatever it is that it's going to look like, is really up to us. You know, we're going to be forming this industry. We are forming the industry right now. What we put out there starts to, you know, break the barriers of how people think of how writing is used. And that's kind of crazy to think about, but I mean, there's a lot of different Baha'i writing organizations or movements that are kind of talking about this and how we're changing language, how we're changing our approach. There's a lot out there, and maybe right now we don't have a vast collection of knowledge that you can just read straight from because we're still so early. But I mean, in the future, I feel like everything that we're all doing right now is going to be part of like the literary movement of the early 2000s. Kids will be like, oh my God, again.
Do we have to hear about the famous Baha'i writers that came from this like Baha'i writing thing?
Yeah. The young writers endeavor.
There's gonna be
week one was articles, week two was poetry, week three was just, no.
That's so funny. Maybe there'll be a street named after the Young Writers Endeavor.
Oh.
A library.
So much for our talks about humility, right?
Well, guys, I hope next time we get to have. I guess I'm answering a question from before, but I hope that next time we find a way to have like an easier way to kind of get to know each other a little better too, and so that, you know, we feel like a stronger sense of friends writing with each other. We already started it, you know. This is already really nice. But I've been really glad to take the first step in getting to know you guys. I'm really excited that you guys liked it. And this is a nice last live conversation.
Please contact us whenever. Like, we will be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, if you ever write anything random too, we can still be editors. It's fine. You can totally write us like a story. If it's like, if you have an issue in your life but you don't want to talk about it directly, you can write us a story and be like, this person named John had this thing happen to them, and we can edit the story and be like, oh, we know that's you. We'll pretend we're like, you know, maybe you should have this character do this, and that would help you.
You're like, how does the story end? I need help coming up with ideas.
Yeah, it would be our pleasure.
We're going to be sending out some emails soon. Well, one email soon, but it has a lot of different parts. Some of the things we're including there is a survey, which we would really, really appreciate if you could fill out because it's definitely going to help us. Then we're including some ideas for what you can do now if you want to see where you can keep writing or what kinds of projects you can be involved in, maybe. Also, where you can find different works or books or websites of the authors that we heard about throughout the workshop. and also where you can find the person who made the wonderful badges. And you might also get a little award, maybe, if you're good. If you did the challenges. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for everything. I really love the workshop and all that you did for make it happen.
We love you guys.
I love you too.
Okay. Bye.
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 Bye.